What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
It's another perfect Friday night for SAC football, and well, it's safe to say that we're in line for a good one, folks, as the 2-1 Bishop Dwenger Saints travel to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium to take on the 3-0 Homestead Spartans. Good evening and welcome into the booth on the OPS pregame show. I'm Anthony Gery alongside sports analyst Braxton Hall, and Braxton, we are in line for a good one here tonight as the Homestead Spartans look to stay undefeated and the Bishop Dwenger Saints look to stay in the race for the SAC belt.
And Dwenger really needs a win tonight after a loss 2 weeks ago to continue to control that destiny for the race in the SAC belt. A win tonight would help them tremendously, while a loss would make it very hard for them to win the conference. Homestead, on the other hand, is coming off a game last week where they were able to just barely knock off Bishop Lures.
And now let's get right into the OPS pregame show by taking a look at that thriller of a game it was at Lures Field last Friday. Going into the halftime huddle, Lures led 13-10, but coming out of the half, the Spartans were explosive and the defense locked down.
Yeah, Homestead was struggling a little bit in the first half, but a strong attack from both the air and the ground led offensively by 120 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns from Camden Johnson, as well as 133 receiving yards from Brett Fox. And on defense by Jackson Christman, 1 interception, and a tackle for loss from Aiden Shepard really helped Homestead to get back into the game.
Both Homestead's offense and defense really did an amazing job, and on the flip side, Bishop Dwenger is coming off a huge bounce-back win over the Southside Archers, where they controlled the entire game, winning 42-13.
Yeah, Bishop Dwenger's win last week was never in question, scoring 21 points in the first quarter, and Carden Mix really stood out for them last game as he had 160 kick and punt return yards, including a kick.
And this game tonight between the Spartans and the Saints is bound to be a great game just based off the last few matchups between these two teams. Last year, Homestead had a fairly commanding win, but the 2 years prior were all-time classics.
Yeah, 3 years ago in 2019 was a great game as Homestead was narrowly able to pull out the win. And 2 years ago, the last time they were here at Spartan Stadium, it was one of the greatest high school football games I've ever seen, a triple overtime game where Homestead's defense was able to hold a 2-point conversion at the 1-yard line to win the game.
That game was absolutely incredible, like you said last time, here at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium, and it was a thriller. Right now, these teams look so even. They look so comparable that we could see something like that tonight.
Yeah, I really agree with that.
And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll go into detail about the matchup today between the Homestead Spartans and the Bishop Dwenger Saints. You're watching the OPS pregame show on Homestead Live. Welcome back to the OPS Pregame Show. I'm Anthony Gery alongside Braxton Hall, and now let's shift our focus towards tonight's game and what players are going to make a big difference in this ball game. For Homestead, two guys who have had monster starts this year and somewhat unexpectedly could be the key for the Spartans tonight in this matchup.
Yeah, offensively, the Spartans have Brett Fox, who is attacking both in the ground and receiving. He has 18 carries for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season, as well as 14 receptions for 256 yards and a touchdown. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we're really going to be looking at Isaiah Oward. And
for Bishop Dwenger, it is going to be all about C.J. Davis tonight.
Yeah, C.J. Davis has really been big for them. He's committed to Marshall, and he's so far in the season, he has 9 receptions for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as 25 tackles and 2 special teams touchdowns.
And C.J. Davis, he has really been the be-all, end-all for Bishop Dwenger this year. Last year in the game against Homestead, he did everything like he's been doing this season, but tonight, is he going to be able to do everything again and actually come up with the win tonight? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, the coordinators, both offensively and defensively for Homestead, I can tell you have been scouting him hard. He's going to be the guy they're trying to shut down, and they're going to have to if Homestead's going to pull out this win.
And if Homestead wants to pull out this win, they're just going to have to stick to their game plan. Homestead, they come into this by just a few point favorites over Bishop Dwenger, according to John Harrell, who's been a pretty trusted source for SAC football this year, not missing a single game in his predictions. This one, he says this is going to be a close one. I mean, I trust his expertise.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. 2 of the best offenses in the SAC, so we could be looking at a big shootout tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, watching from all over the country, it's about that time. It's been a pleasure hosting you guys on the OPS Pregame Show, but now it's time to say goodbye until halftime. When we come back from the break, it'll be Noah Johanningsmeier sitting down with Coach Zolman to hear his thoughts on tonight's game. You're watching Homestead Spartan Football on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS Pregame Show. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier, and I'm now joined by Homestead football head coach Chad Zolman. And Coach, last week you were able to get a 24-16 win over Bishop Luers. Talk about your team's performance in that game and their ability to stay unbeaten.
Well, I felt first half we were a little bit lethargic. I didn't think we were moving real well. And we had a chance to tie it up at the end of the first half. So we fought back in the second quarter, and in the second half, things picked up for us, and I felt like we moved the ball much better on the ground, offensively and defensively. We controlled their offense a little bit better. So I was pleased with the effort. I think we played much harder and better in the second half than we did the first. That's why we came away with the win.
Overall, it was the first time this year that your team was put to the test late in the game, and defensively in the second half, consistently making stops and finding ways to get the Knights off the scoring board. And obviously they were able to make that stop late in the game. Just talk about your defense's big play late in that game.
Yeah, well, they gave up 3 points the second half, and that's a good sign. They had some opportunities there at the end to get a chance to tie it, and then we had a 4th and 11, and we had an unfortunate penalty that gave them another first down, and we had to stop on another 4th down. So I was pleased with how hard they played, and they played hard for a long time. And we talk about playing hard for 4 quarters and how important that is, and I think they did that.
And as for your opponent tonight, the Bishop Dwenger Saints, their offense is loaded with weapons with C.J. Davis, Stellan Rustin, along with quarterback Sam Campbell, a great dual threat quarterback, and they're second in the SAC in scoring so far this season. How do you plan on slowing down that elite offense tonight?
Well, it all starts with that quarterback. He scrambles and buys time, and And those guys do a great job of scramble drill, and so we've got to do the same. And we've got to do a good job up front, keeping him contained within the box, and that's difficult. So nobody's been able to do it yet. So that's the challenge, but that's the key for us, I think, defensively on him.
And thanks for joining me, Coach. Always a pleasure. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll return with more of the OPS Spartan Football Pregame Show after these short messages.
Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS Pregame Show. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier, and I'm now joined by Homestead football head coach Chad.
Soak it all in, folks. Friday night's lights action right here tonight from Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium, as we are now just minutes away from kickoff of Homestead versus Bishop Dwenger. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier, joined alongside Noah Lancz. And Noah, tonight we are going to see a matchup of two of the best offenses in the SAC, as the two teams are number 1 and number 2 in points scored so far this season.
Homestead averaging 35 points per game, and then Dwenger 34.7 right next to each other, but both have been doing whatever they want on the offensive sides and have been posing a real problem to the defensive sides, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of points tonight.
Yeah, these have been two explosive offenses early on in this season, and these two teams both are still in control of their own destinies in the race for the SAC title heading into Week 4, meaning this game, as it usually does, could have big implications on who ends up with the belt at the end of the year.
Well, as you see there, Carroll and Homestead sit atop of the SAC right now, but with a Dwenger win, them and Homestead would be tied at 3-1, Dwenger having the tiebreaker in that scenario, and then Carroll has an easier game tonight against Northrop, so they're likely going to improve to 4-0. But this game is going to be so important for the SAC. This is really a must-win for the Spartans if they want to win the conference.
Yeah, right now it's looking like a 4-team race for the SAC title with those two 3-0 teams and then the two 2-1 teams, and then to have two of those 4 teams playing here tonight, it's going to be huge in the SAC race.
It really is, and it's these type of games is what is going to come down to of who wins, who beats the other top teams. We've already seen Carroll get some quality wins this season, and Dwenger losing earlier to Northside this season. But it's just going to come down to who can beat out the better teams.
And folks around here known that this game, even in Week 4, can be the marquee game of the season. In 2019 and in 2020, the 2 years Homestead won the SAC, the Spartans beat the Saints by a combined 3 points, and in 2020, that game had to go to 3 overtimes to decide the winner. All in all, in 7 years since the merger, these two teams have combined for 4 SAC titles.
They really have been so good and so dominant ever since the SAC came together. Just 4-3 for Homestead, barely a lead there. Dwenger obviously going to look to tie it up here. And in that first meeting, Dwenger was very dominant here at Homestead, but Homestead 3 in a row right now, and both teams are going to be looking to get back atop of the SAC.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the battle between these two teams. They're always two heavyweights in the SAC. They are two historic programs, have been great for a long time, and in this area we know that they are going to play at a high level.
Yeah, no matter what, you know they're going to be playing at a high level. They always come out and perform. They're not going to let you down, even though these teams have a lot of new look players. They're still playing how teams expect them to usually play.
Yeah, we know that these two teams both have a lot of turnover from last season, but it is a huge factor right now. Just trying to get it going into this season. They're both off to nice starts. Dwenger with 2-1 and Homestead with that 3-0 start.
And it's really shocking to see Homestead have so much success on the offensive side when they only have 3 returning starters from a year ago. Obviously, it helps a lot when you have Peyton Slave and your quarterback as one of those returners. The other 2 are linemen, so they don't have any skill players out there that returned from a year ago that were starters. So it's really been interesting to see the players step up. Brett Fox, Cam Johnson have been playing really well, and then Mason Auxier stepping into that wide receiver 1 spot has been huge this year.
Yeah, it's really been a lot of players for each of these teams stepping up and fulfilling new roles. It's been really big. All the new players on both of these squads, and Coach Chad Zolman has really helped this team step up and play well this season, and he's been glad to see the guys step up, as we are going to be sending it down to Anthony Gery on the sideline with Coach Zolman.
Thank you, Noah. And Coach, Bishop Dwenger is a team that you match up with very evenly. What do you have to do tonight to get the win?
Well, we have to play really sound in all phases of the game. No turnovers, stay in front of the chains, those types of things. We've got to be very fundamental.
Good luck. Noah, back to you.
And thank you, Anthony. And the Spartans are ready for this matchup against the Bishop Dwenger Saints. Noah, what are your keys to the game entering this matchup?
My keys to the game in this one for Homestead: limit their turnovers. You cannot give Dwenger a short field. We already know how good they are at scoring. They're so powerful on the offensive side, and Homestead cannot help them out in any way in that category. Slavin on the season has had 3 interceptions so far. Then on defense for Homestead, weaponize the blitz against Dwenger's offensive line. Just really attack it here in this game. We saw it a week ago. That defensive line come up huge, mainly Jackson Crispin making a game-changing pick from a week ago. So just really need to attack that offensive line.
And really, for this Bishop Dwenger offense, they have weapons all around, and those weapons also translate to the special teams. This is a team that has had 4 touchdowns on special teams this season, 2 of which came from Carter Minks last week. That could be a huge factor in this one.
It really could be, and those are the special teams can really just change the game, flip it upside down. It's really special when you have just special teams that is so good. They can flip the field with a punter. You have a reliable kicker you can trust, or for Dwenger, they've got really good return men. So you just have to be careful if you're the Spartans and watch out for that.
And something else to watch out for the Spartans is quarterback Sam Campbell. This is his first year at the quarterback position for the Saints. Previous years, he's been featured at wide receiver, cornerback. He's been all around the field for the Saints. He's a true athlete, and his scrambling ability is one to be aware of.
Yeah, he is really a dual threat quarterback. He's already got 23 carries on the season, including 2 touchdowns. But then he's also thrown for 75% completion rate, which is very good. He's looked really solid stepping into the quarterback role. The Spartans are really going to need to contain him, keep him in the pocket, because we know how dangerous he is when he gets out and he's scrambling.
Yeah, we know his capabilities. He definitely can be an X factor for this Saints squad. His running ability paired with his passing is something to watch for sure. And then for the Homestead offense, we've seen a lot of Cam Johnson and Brett Fox through 3 weeks in the run game and in the pass game.
It really has been those two. We've seen Brett Fox, even though he's listed as a slot, receiver, come into that backfield a lot. That's where we saw him a year ago, but he shifted over to a wide receiver role, and he's done really well. He's just so good with the ball in his hands. But then Cam Johnson missing week 1, but coming back ever since then, 19 carries. He's got just great numbers.
And to start off this ball game, it's going to be the Saints sending it away to the Spartans. Mason Oxier and Brett Fox, the two back to return for the Homestead Spartans. And the Saints kicker is going to be Joseph Morgan, a 6'5", 180-pound senior. A big kicker out there for the Saints. And we are off and away. This one going back near the end zone, and it's about the 1-yard line. Fox takes the risk and takes it out, and it about pays off. Just getting right back to where it would have been if he just let it go over his head.
A solid return there by Fox, just as you're mentioning, to get it back to where a touchback would have been. It looks like he may get an extra yard as well. As you see Peyton Slavin highlighted here on the season, nearly 55% completion percentage, but he has the most yards in the SAC throwing right now. He's got 209 yards per game. He's going to look to continue that against the Saints defense.
And he's going to be looking to lead this first drive for the Spartans. Spartans looking to strike first. Slavin's going to be in the gun here. He's got 3 wide receivers out to the left side, as he's going to hand this one off to Johnson up the middle, who gets a little bit of space, and then is brought down by multiple Saints defenders, including Teddy Steele, in on that tackle.
And that's a formation we see a lot from the Spartans, having 3 receivers out to the left. A lot of times they like to put Grant Leeper over to the right as an ISO type situation, but that time Leeper was on the line. There it looked like it might have been an option for Slavin to either throw a quick screenplay, which we see a lot where Brett Fox is really good, but they're just giving it to Johnson and he's going to work.
Slavin's going to be in the gun once again as Fox comes in motion, hands it off to Fox down the right side, gets very close to the first down marker as he's brought down by C.J. Davis. And he does move the chains. Spartans offense starts it off with 2 nice run plays.
And it's the 2 players we just talked about a few minutes ago, the 2 primary ball carriers for the Spartans. You see Fox there coming in motion to get over, and just another solid run there, and the Spartans are moving early.
And now Slavin's going to be in the gun again for the Spartans as some whistles blow pre-snap. And they're going to send Max Gery over to the sideline. Probably something going on with his equipment there. Now they resume play. Spartans going to have 3 receivers out to the right side. Leeper on the right side of the line. Slavin drops back to pass, completes it over the middle to Fox. And once again, it's a first down.
And Brett Fox is just so good with the ball in his hands. We see it so many times. And just those little quick passes, getting the ball to him in space, that's exactly where you want the ball to be if you're the Spartans.
Right now with 10:40 left in this first quarter, the Homestead Spartans looking to strike early on first down and 10. Slavin going to be in the gun once again. Spartans with a bit of a heavy set. John DeLay and Grant Leeper on the line on the left side. Slavin's going to hand it off to Johnson up the gut. Johnson powering through some Saints defenders as a group brings him down. Spartans rolling with the run game right now.
And that's exactly where I was going to go. This run game has looked really good so far, gaining about 5 or 6 yards on all 3 carries of theirs. And the run game is so important. We saw a week ago against Lures, the Spartans really struggled to get their run game going. They were trying to run it up the middle a lot. It had no success. They bounced outside, and they were very successful. But seen a lot of runs up the middle to start this one. It's so important to establish the run game because it'll just open up your pass game and play action.
And now Slavin going to be in the gun again. 2 wide receivers are going to be out to each side for him. He fakes the handoff. There's the play action. Sends it right side. Fox, and he's drilled down right away. Teddy Steele with the lick. But the first down completion still. First down coming up once again for the Spartans.
That was a great job there by Fox just to hold on to the ball as he's met pretty quickly there by Steele on a big hit. Fox taken off of his feet. But once again, getting the ball out quick. If Steele is going to sag off there and give the space, Fox is going to take advantage of it.
Now it's going to be another first down here for the Spartans. Slavin pitches it to Johnson. The ball comes out loose, and Saints jump on it. It's going to be Christian Lozada with that fumble recovery. Saints take possession.
And that's exactly what the Spartans cannot do this game. Just a little option play there for Slavin, and Johnson did not look ready to catch it. Hit him right in the hands, though. But just a great job by Lozada to jump on top of that with a lot of Saints around him.
And that's where the pitch run plays always are dangerous, just as if it slips through a player's hands. As the Saints are taking over possession right now in Spartan territory with 9 minutes left in this first quarter.
The Spartans were looking really good on the offensive side, but now defense coming in unexpectedly. A short field for Dwenger, just going to have to be really strong here.
Now they're going to hand it off to Trent Tippmann, who barrels his way through some Spartan defenders and gets a nice gain there on the first play for the Saints.
Tippmann there running over about 3 Spartans defenders, just showing you how strong he is. He's only 5'9", but he weighs 200 pounds and using that strength to his power.
And the Saints definitely have some powerful backs in their backfield at all times. We've seen Tippmann on the offensive end barrel through. We've also seen Teddy Steele make some plays on defense. As that was a bad snap, Toby Tippmann brings it in and then is brought down for a tackle for loss. Some mistakes early on for both of these teams.
Yeah, a lot of miscommunication so far, both sides. The ball's kind of flying around here, maybe just early game nerves for both teams, but both coaches are definitely going to look to tighten it up. You cannot be having those, especially late in the game. Early, not as bad. You still have time. It's a tie ball game, but late in the game, you really need to make sure you don't have any of those problems.
Campbell's going to be in the backfield once again for the Saints. He's going to drop back to throw. Under a bit of pressure from Preston Hott, rolls out to the left side, throws this one deep, and it falls incomplete. Wyatt Little in on the pass coverage, breaks that one up, and is going to set up a fourth down for the Saints with 7:40 left in this first quarter.
Right there, Campbell showing you his ability to get out of the pocket. It looked like he might have tried to go to his feet there on the ground. Only needed to pick up 4 yards, but taking the shot. And Wyatt Little, if you ask him, he's going to tell you that he needs to come up with that pick. It hit him right in the hands. Just the Bishop Dwenger defender getting in his way.
Tippmann, the back end there for the Saints on this fourth down. Saints going to go for it as they're in nice field position as Campbell drops back to throw. He's chucking this one deep down right side to Minix, and it's broken up that time. It's Gavin Kozad with the pass breakup and a turnover on downs for the Bishop Dwenger Saints. Homestead defense makes a big stand.
A great play there by Gavin Kozad to get his hand in there the last second. Looked like he was beat, but get in there.
Now we're going to send it to Anthony Gery with the injury update.
Thank you, Noah. And as you may have seen on that last defensive possession, Orlando Sheets, the usual defensive end on the right side for the Spartans, is out this game. We have good news. He is only going to be out for just this game tonight, although he is in a boot. He says he's ready to go on Monday at practice, and he'll be back for the game next week at Snyder.
And thanks, Anthony, as the first down was a run play there for the Spartans. Johnson took it up the middle and was stuffed for about a yard gain.
And speaking of injury, over on the sideline right now, Carter Worth, the starting center for the Spartans, a captain on this team, and then you see Spartans go for a run up the middle where they've had some success early on in this game, not able to get it there. So definitely something to watch out for.
Now Slavin in the gun once again for the Spartans. Fake snap drew in the Saints defense. They might be looking to blitz on this play. as it's a heavy set with Leaper and Delay on the right side of the line. Johnson in the backfield. Slavin's going to look to throw to the right side. Oxier bobbles it, and it's going to fall incomplete. That one hit the ground before Oxier could reel it in.
Slavin just feeling that pressure there, had to get it out fast, otherwise he's going to take a sack. So good recognition by him there to get it out as fast as he could. But because of that, it forced him to speed the play up. Oxier wasn't ready for it, leading to that incompletion, and now a long third down.
And the Spartans looking to get some momentum flowing on the offense. They had some on the first drive, but then a fumble really shut down that momentum. As Slavin's going to drop back to throw on this big third down. It's bobbled and then complete to Grant Leaper over the middle, still yards short of the first down. Fourth down and about 5 yards now going to be here for the Spartans with 6:30 left in this first quarter.
And once again, decision time. We just saw Dwenger go for it in a similar situation, just a little closer, and they were attacking on the Spartan side, but Coach Zolman electing to go for it, looks like here on the 4th and medium.
We have seen Slavin do some punting this season, so that is a possibility here, but for now it looks like the Spartans will go for it. As Slavin will send this one away in a punt. Bounce, a nice punt, a Spartan-friendly roll all the way down to the 16-yard line. A great punt there from quarterback Peyton Slavin.
And you called it there, Noah, just Slavin going for the punt. We see it a lot in high school football, just Zolman not wanting to go for it and putting it inside the 20-yard line, backing up the Saints.
Yeah, the Spartans defense just made a great stand. Why not just trust them again and punt it away and give this defense a chance to make a play? As Campbell's going to be the end gun once again for the Saints. He's going to hand this one up straight up the middle as this gets a first down run. A nice carry there on first down for the Bishop Dwenger Saints.
And it looked like there on the play that Aiden Shepard was going to have a chance to get to the runner, but he was not able to, and Spartans cannot miss tackles like that. Otherwise, it's just going to lead to another big play for Dwenger.
It was Owen Zimmerman, the one on the carry for the Saints. As the Saints are now going to be faced with another first down from the 30-yard line, looking to get some momentum flowing here on offense now after they just picked up their first down of the game. Tipman in the backfield, Campbell with a QB keeper, and he's stuffed by lots of Spartan defenders after a very short gain.
And that was a good read by the Spartan defense. We've talked about it before, how Campbell is a dual threat quarterback. He's going to run it a few times this game, so you always have to be alert, but a great job there by the Spartans to be ready for it and not allow a big gain.
We definitely know Campbell's athletic abilities and his ability to run the football can be dangerous, but right there the Spartans were able to contain it. As Zimmerman's going to be the back in the backfield once again for the Saints. He gets the handoff, breaks through the line. A shifty juke move gets him closer to the first down, but still short of it, as there is 4:30 left in this first quarter.
Zimmerman only 5'6", 140, but he's a very shifty player from what we've seen in his 2 carries, being very elusive, avoiding a lot of tackles, and that's going to make it harder for the Spartans, especially they've seen Tipman earlier, a powerful back, and now they've got Zimmerman in there, so 2 different styles of backs, but they got to look out for them.
Now Campbell fakes a handoff, then throws it back to Tipman, who is lit up in the backfield by Jackson Chrisman. And that was actually Teddy Steele in the backfield for the Saints.
What a great play there by Jackson Chrisman. We see him do it all the time, but it's going to end up in a loss of 5 there and just pushing back the Saints by a lot. Jackson Chrisman, always a big player on that defensive line, usually known for his sacks, but also gets a few tackles for loss.
Now Campbell's going to throw over to the right side. It's high in the air and incomplete. Minix, the intended target that time. A 3rd down and long coming up for the Saints.
Campbell so far in this one has not seemed like he has settled in when he's been throwing, not able to connect with his receivers yet, and a great job by the Spartans to just kind of put the pressure on him. It was a quick pass there where Campbell should be able to complete it, but just threw it high. That pressure starting to get to him.
And Campbell and Tippmann going to be the guys in the backfield here for the Saints. Campbell dropping back to throw on this 3rd down and long. Has time. Looks deep over the middle. Finds Minix. Short of the first down, but it's complete. Very close to the first down, and sets up a 4th down and 1. But there was a flag thrown back in the backfield. This one might be coming back. And it will. Oh, holding on the Saints, going to push them back. They got so close to a 1st down, but now they're going to be faced with a 3rd and about 25.
And there were a lot of players up in the face of Campbell as he was making that throw, which is probably because of that holding. They weren't able to get to him, but it would have been about a 4th and 2 there. Decision time for the Saints, but instead going all the way back to 3rd and 25.
Now with 3:30 left in this first quarter, Campbell's alone in an empty backfield. Looks to throw to the right side, pump fakes, then throws it deep over the middle. Downfield, and it's caught. That's Stellan Rustin. A huge deep ball from Sam Campbell. 1st down, Saints.
And that was a dime right there by Campbell. Perfect connection for Rustin, putting it where only his receiver could get it. And what a huge play there by the Saints offense, showing you why they're so explosive. You think they're just going to go for a quick play, 3rd and 25, try to pick up some more yards, but instead they go for the bomb, and it pays off.
It definitely pays off, and right there we're starting to see some of the explosive offense. We said in the pregame show the 2 highest scoring offenses facing off right now, and we're starting to see that as Campbell fakes a handoff, going to keep it himself. Going out to the left side. He's got open space. Campbell all the way inside the 15. The quarterback making juke moves all the way into the red zone.
What a great run there by Campbell. Now back-to-back plays showing you his dual threat ability. First, they get a huge pass play on when they're very much backed up. And then right after it, Campbell scrambles for 22 yards, just showing his versatility.
And now we got 2:40 left in this first quarter, as it's still a 0-0 ball game. These 2 offensive looking for some points. The Saints trying to go first. As Campbell hands it off the middle to Teddy Steele, straight up the gut. He gains a couple yards there. A nice 1st down carry for Bishop Dwenger.
Dwenger just trying to establish that run game once again through their running backs. We saw Zimmerman earlier get a few good runs going. Tippmann back in now, the powerful back, trying to run it up the middle, and a solid run there for 5 yards.
And now it's going to be Steele, the back in the backfield for the Saints. Campbell taking the snap, fakes the handoff, going straight up the middle, runs it himself and gets close to the 1st down. We'll see if the officials give it to him. And Sam Campbell has already definitely shown his running ability, as it's going to be 3rd down and 1 now for the Saints from the 4-yard line.
And the lineman coming in for Orlando Sheets because he's injured was Preston Hott for this game. And that was a touchdown-saving tackle there by him.
Now the Saints looking to power it up the middle to the end zone as Steele takes the handoff, and he does. Touchdown, Saints. They take an early 6-0 lead with 1:20 left in this first quarter.
The Saints just completely dominating the Spartans defense after that huge 3rd down conversion, running it all over the Spartans. Spartans getting backed up. These 2 teams know how to score, and the Saints getting on board first.
The Saints were backed up on a 3rd and 26 on this possession, but they were able to get all the way to the end zone still, after a huge connection from Sam Campbell and Stellan Rustin. As Morgan sends this kick away, and it is good. A 7-0 lead for the Saints as we enter our first break.
What limits you to
And welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Homestead Spartans and Bishop Dwenger Saints face off. The Saints just took an early 7-0 lead off of a Teddy Steele touchdown run that was really set up by a long ball from Sam Campbell to Stellan Rustin.
It was there, just a great play by Campbell, and Campbell starting to show you why he's been so good this year, stepping into that quarterback role. But now Spartans are going to need an answer. They were looking really good to start this game until that fumble on the mishandled pitch there from Slavin to Johnson. After that, they've been really slow on the offensive side, but they're going to need it, get it going again.
Now the kicker, Joseph Morgan, looking to send this one away. Sent the first one very close to the end zone as he sends this one high, arcing into the air. And Oxy is going to take it out from about the one, and actually they're going to call that one off. It's a touchback. Spartans going to get the ball at the 20-yard line.
A similar start to where they started their first drive at the 21-yard line, where they were more productive on the shorter field. They weren't able to get anything going on the offensive side, so maybe they go back to the run game, try to establish it. Right now, coming out with a formation a lot of times where we see Brett Fox get a little screen pass. Love the ball with him in open space.
And Johnson's going to be in the backfield with Slavin on this first down with 1:20 left in the first quarter. Slavin throws a screen over to Fox on the right side. He gets some open space down to the 35-yard line when he's pushed out of bounds by Steele and Davis. A nice first play of the drive for Homestead.
And sooner or later, teams are going to have to start realizing that most of the time they're going to go to Fox in this formation where they've got three receivers down and Fox in the slot, Leaper put to the top on the opposite side of the three receivers. The Spartans just love the ball in his hands. They do so well.
And Trable Weir came in with the blitz and came offsides there. Early with that, and it sets up the Spartans with a 1st down and 5.
And that's exactly why they do those fake snaps, try to pick up what the defense might be doing, blitz, zone, man on man. So right there, just drawing the blitzer off sides.
Slavin's going to take the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over the middle, over Fox's head, and falls incomplete with 49 seconds left in this first quarter.
And a positive for the Spartans is that Carter Worth is back out there in the center position. He's limping around a little bit, but maybe they can start to get that run game going again. We haven't seen it be too productive ever since he came out.
Now the Spartans going to be in shotgun once again. Slavin throws it over to the left side. Now a screen pass for Fox. And this time he's brought down in the backfield. A nice play there made by the Cadet defense. Nick Pelkington was in on that one.
That's exactly what the Saints need to start doing. They recognized it from just 2 plays before. That's exactly what the Spartans did, just flipping it to the opposite side of the field. The Saints defenders sniffing it out and able to recognize that the Spartans are doing the exact same thing.
Now Slavin once again in the gun for the Spartans. As he takes the snap, drops back to throw. A flag's thrown as it's complete over the middle to Leaper, who's brought down by C.J. Davis and Brady O'Keefe of the Saints. And we'll see what the flag was on that play. An illegal motion is what it's going to be for the Spartans offense. We're going to see what the official ruling is going to be on this play, as the penalty is going to be declined, and it's going to be 4th down and 4 now for the Spartans as the punt team comes out. Braxton McLaughlin, the punter for the Homestead Spartans, on the season with 7 punts, a 37-yard average. And Minix, the return man for the Saints, had 2 return touchdowns for the Saints special teams last year, as it's going to be a timeout. Actually, the end of the first quarter, as the Saints lead 7-0. And welcome back to Homestead Spartan football, as we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And the coach's report from the first half on the Spartans sideline is this. The defense who's pressing Sam Campbell at quarterback. That third and long play is just an example of why they need to pressure more. He had so much time, and that's been the conversation on the sideline. The defensive line, who's missing Orlando Sheets, they need to find a way to get more pressure and make Sam Campbell uncomfortable.
And thank you, Anthony, as we are now back up in the booth after that punt by Braxton McLaughlin that brought it down to the 35-yard line. Saints going to be set up with a 1st down and 10 as they lead 7-0 in this ballgame.
A dangerous punt there by McLaughlin, as it got nowhere near the returner for the Saints, and the Saints blockers were just looking around for it. That's something they got to be more aware of. If it touches them, then obviously Spartans players can pick it up. But now back on the offensive side for the Saints, we'll see if they can pick it up where they left it off.
And now the left side of the scrimmage is loaded up for the Saints as Campbell takes a snap and keeps it himself. Runs for about 4 yards. Campbell consistently showing his ability to run throughout this one early.
And I think Dwenger on this drive is going to go back to the run game a lot. We saw them do so well after that bomb to Rustin. They ran the ball and got themselves into the end zone. Keep on establishing the run game. And then after you establish the run game, go for the play action where you can go for another shot down the field.
Now the Saints getting ready for the 2nd down. Campbell's going to be in shotgun. He's got trips out to his right side. He's going to hand this one up the middle. This one to Owen Zimmerman, who gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
And that's exactly where the Spartans have been so strong on the defensive side. Runs up the middle. Other teams have really struggled to get anything up the middle. A lot of times they have to go outside. That's where we saw the big run by Campbell. It was him going out to his left on a big run. They got to get outside the pocket if they want to get big runs.
Yeah, it's just been an elite defensive performance from this defensive line, stuffing the run every time a team tries to go up the middle. As Campbell's going to be under center this time for the Saints. Fakes a handoff. Looks to throw. Throws one deep down the middle. Minix is open. In open space down to the 25. Kozad brings him down at the 16. Another big pass play for the Saints offense. This time it's Carter Minix deep down the field.
Right there, Gavin Kozad just got completely burned by Minix for a huge play. You cannot allow that to happen if you're Kozad or any of these cornerbacks, because Campbell is already connected on one deep bomb. Now he has 2 to his name. You know he's going to connect on the deep passes, so you can't allow anything to get over the top of you.
Right now the Saints trying to take a 2-possession lead into the red zone. 9:50 left in this second quarter as Campbell drops back to throw once again. He's under a bit of pressure, just throws that one, dumps off to Steele as he gets inside the 5 and is brought down. A flag comes out.
I think this one's going to be a block in the back by Carter Minix there as Steele was trying to get into the end zone. Minix just pushing one of the defenders for the Spartans right in the back, so it's probably going to come back another 10 yards.
That's going to be crucial for the Saints as they are going to be pushed back. They were moving. They had the offense flowing. But right now, a penalty could hurt them a little bit. As it's going to be first down and about 12 for the Saints.
And they're just being a spot penalty rather than a holding, which would be in the backfield. Send them to a 1st and 20. It's not going to be as bad for the Saints. Still got 3 plays and very manageable.
Now they're going to fake a handoff once again, and then they send it on the end around. And this gains about 3 yards for the Bishop Dwenger Saints. Golford in on that one.
A really good play call there by the Saints. Nathan Reith just couldn't get over to get that last block for the potential touchdown for the Saints. But a good play call. Look for them to go back to that.
A nice end around for the Saints for sure, as this time they're going to be coming out in an empty set formation. Campbell brings in Toby Tippmann into the backfield as he gets the handoff, runs out to the left side, and is brought down for a tackle for loss. Sets up a 3rd down and long.
Preston Hott once again used the first one there in not making the tackle, but sending Tippmann back a little bit. He's been really good so far in this one, getting pressure, especially on these runs. Saw him get a big tackle earlier, stopping a touchdown from Campbell. He's done well stepping in for Sheets, but now this is a huge 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for the Saints, and really a big stop is needed for the Spartans.
Campbell going to be looking to throw once again. Rolls out to the right, then back out to the left. Under a bit of pressure, Chrisman chasing him down. A big block by the Saints offensive lineman as Campbell throws it incomplete. Target to the end zone, falls incomplete. And a flag in the backfield as that block on Jackson Chrisman might have been an illegal one.
That was a huge hit on Chrisman. Chrisman standing 6 foot, 255 pounds. You don't see him get off of his feet that many times, but it's a huge block, and like you're saying, probably going to be an illegal one, which would be a 15-yard penalty and a huge loss there for the Saints. But in the end, Spartans may just decline it and have the Saints come out for about a 35-yard field goal.
And there's a flag right now on the 30-yard line where the block happened and on the 15. As they're still discussing the penalty here. Right now, the official having a talk with Coach Zolman as we're showing the scores around the SAC right now. Snyder, you just saw, had a 21-0 lead over Southside. Wayne Northside currently 0-0 in the 2nd quarter. Leo New Haven, also a goose egg ball game.
Really shocking to see Wayne and Northside tied in that one. We've seen Northside earlier, their one win coming against Dwenger, and then they've lost against Carroll and Snyder. They've had a really tough schedule to start the season, but doing well overall. So just shocking to see a 0-0 game.
And there were 2 penalties on Bishop Dwenger on this play. And there was intentional grounding and a block in the back. And they declined them both as it's going to become 4th down now. As Morgan's going to go out for a field goal attempt. Looking to take a 10-0 lead for the Saints. As some whistles blow and there's a bit of confusion pre-snap here. The officials conferring on this one. 8 minutes left in this first half as the Saints currently have a 7-0 lead over the Spartans.
Just a lot of confusion overall right now, and then once again backing up now, it looks like, for the Saints. Not sure what it was, but it put him back about 5 yards. So a lot of confusion going on.
I think that's accepting the intentional grounding play, loss of downs, and a 5-yard penalty there for the Saints, as now it's going to be a longer field goal for Joseph Morgan, a 39-yarder. Owen Zimmerman going to be holding the field goal attempt here, as it goes up a little low and then it sails out to the right. No good. A 7-0 lead for the for the Saints, as they hold on to this one possession lead. Welcome back to Homestead versus Bishop Dwenger, as Slavin's going to be in shotgun on this first down. To start off the drive, he hands off to Fox. Fox navigating the left sideline, dives past the first down marker, and gets a nice carry for the Spartans offense to set up this drive.
The Spartans need to get the ball into Brett Fox's hands as many times as they can. He's been so good with the ball in his hands in this game. Past game, a rush there. He's had another solid rush earlier. He's just been really good in this.
Slavin in the gun once again for Homestead. He's going to look to throw on this one. Dumps it out right side to Fox, and it just sails a bit over his head. Falls incomplete. Second down going to be coming up for the Spartans.
Well, they're trying to get it to Fox once again and setting up a bunch of blockers over on the right side. Usually you see him in that slot position. It was the same formation that they often go to him. He wasn't in the slot there, though. Obviously, it was Manny Rivera in that position. Just trying to get the ball to him, but so far, Slavin just has not seemed to settle into this one.
As Slavin's going to be in shotgun. Johnson behind him in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, up the gut, and he gains a couple yards there as the Saints do a nice job of bottling that one up. 7 minutes left in this second quarter now.
Carter Worth there, as you see about in the middle of your screen, still kind of limping around. He's not been looking great ever since he's come back in, struggling out there, and the run game has struggled as well, going up the middle. He is the center for that team.
The Saints showing signs of a pre-snap blitz there as Slavin faked the snap. Johnson the back, in for Homestead. Trips out to the right side, and a timeout's going to be called by the Homestead Spartans. 6:30 left in this second quarter. The Saints currently leading 7-0.
Spartans really just been struggling ever since that first drive to get anything going on the offensive side. Their defense has had a solid stop, as we just saw that last possession for the Saints, missing a field goal. So really good stop by the defense, but now the offense needs to do their part, just get some points, even if it is a field goal, get on the board. We talked about earlier how good these teams have been on the offensive side, scoring a lot, and so far just have not been able to get it going.
And now it's going to be 3rd down and 8 for this Spartans offense. It's going to be a big 3rd down here, trying to get things going before we get to halftime, as there's 6:30 left in this second quarter.
And just a huge 3rd down here, 3rd and 7 for the Spartans. Once again, coming out with the trips out to the right, and then Leaper ISO'd on the bottom of your screen.
And then Slavin's going to be in shotgun for Homestead. Johnson with him in the backfield. Saints loading up the box right now, showing signs of blitz. Spartans still taking their time thinking about this big play. Slavin takes the snap, looks to throw. Throws it right side, falls through Fox's hands and incomplete. 4th and 8 now, going to be coming up for Homestead. The punt team comes out.
Just so far not able to get into the rhythm at all for Peyton Slavin. That pass a little low there. So Fox unable to bring it in. It would have been a tough catch, one that we've seen him make before, but regardless, a tough play to make by any receiver out there.
Now McLaughlin going to be the one to punt this one away for the Spartans again, as this one goes high and a nice Spartans bounce all the way down to the 26-yard line. A nice job by the punt team there for Homestead, flipping the field.
And that bounce there was really huge for the Spartans. It went about another 10 to 12 yards. A lackluster punt before that, but getting the positive bounce, and compared to the last punt he had, it went backwards. But just a good punt there by McLaughlin to try to pin the Saints back deep.
There is now 6:18 left in this first half. The Saints offense now taking over possession as they lead 7-0. Campbell's going to be under center on this first down. He hands it off right side. That's going to be Trent Tippmann for the Saints, taking the carry. A nice first down, as it's now going to be 2nd down and 6.
And all season long, the Spartans have been so good at stopping runs up the middle. They've been pretty solid once again tonight. That time a 5-yard gain there for Tippmann, which is one of the better ones on the night. But a lot of times you got to go outside if you want to have success running the ball.
Now Campbell's going to hand it off, this time to Toby Tippmann on the left side as the Saints push for a couple of yards. A nice effort by the offensive line there. As a flag was thrown on that play, we're going to see what the official ruling is. It's going to be a face mask on the Spartans. That's going to give the Saints a first down and more.
That's a huge call there, as the Saints just two really solid, strong runs, everybody pushing in the pile. Looks like they're going to be trying to take off as much clock as they can with a little under 6 minutes left in the half. Try to take off as much time, go into halftime with a lead.
Now Campbell's going to be in the gun here for the Bishop Dwenger Saints. Takes a snap, hands it off to Toby Tippmann up the middle once again, and he pushes his way for a couple-yard gain once again. This Saints offense consistently moving with the run game in small chunks.
They just will not go down. You see Spartans defenders get there quickly up on them, but unable to ever bring him down.
Now just taking a look at some scores around the area. As you see on that scoreboard, Carroll leading Northrop 28-0 right now. Lures also holding on to a 28-0 lead over Concordia. A nice game there for Lures as they're bouncing back from a loss to Homestead last week. As Campbell's going to drop back to throw. This one another deep ball, and that time it's broken up. But flags fly out, and that looks like it might be a pass interference on Wyatt Little.
Wyatt Little just getting in there a little too quickly before that ball came in. He never turned around to see where the ball was, and once again going for a deep pass there to Preston Ross that time, another tight end for the Saints team, unable to connect.
We're going to see what the official ruling is, and it is on Wyatt Little. A pass interference. Going to move the chains. Second time a penalty on the Spartans have moved the chains for the Saints on this possession. Saints now into Spartan territory.
Spartans just not helping themselves out at all. You cannot have these big trunk penalties at all if you want to come back in this one.
Now 4:40 left in this first half. Campbell's going to look to throw. Deep down the left sideline, a jump ball. C.J. Davis and Elward both jump for it, and it falls incomplete.
And that was the first time we've seen Davis targeted. He's been Campbell's favorite receiver so far this year with 9 receptions, 232 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's really shocking to see the first time that he catches the ball over 17, or gets a target over 17 minutes into this one. But look for him to play a bigger role in the second half.
And surprisingly, Davis only got 1 reception last week, too. Hasn't been much of a target these past 2 games. As Steele is going to get the carry on second down, gains about 5. This run game for the Saints, it's been the story all game long. They just keep on powering this Spartans defensive line. We were talking about earlier how the Spartans defensive line really hasn't allowed the inside run to do much against them this year. The Saints are trying to change that right now.
It's just been slow and methodical. The Saints have been going, just trying to pound it up the middle over and over. You see so many players lined up in that box, and they just keep on going back to it.
As Campbell's going to throw it over the middle, complete to Davis. Down to the 15 and tackled down by Isaiah Elward inside the red zone. Davis with the big completion there.
And just a quick slant there to Davis, looking like they just wouldn't pick up the first down, get their yardage, but then Davis turns that into a big play, dragging Elward with him for about another 10 yards. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Look for Davis to play a bigger role in the rest of this one.
Yeah, Davis in the first 2 weeks, just insane performances, a combined 8 receptions for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. The past 2 weeks, only 2 receptions so far. As Campbell going to take the snap, hand it off to Toby Tippmann, who runs it into the end zone. A touchdown again for the Saints. Toby Tippmann this time. Both the touchdowns for this team have come on the run game. Toby Tippmann and Teddy Steele, the 2 to bring it to the house. As right now the Saints have a 13-0 lead with 3 minutes left in this first half.
And that's been the story of the game so far. The run game for the Saints has been so good. The Spartans defense only allowing 97 yards per game, but in this one they're getting ran all over.
As Morgan sends this kick away, and it's good. Saints take a 14-0 lead as we inch closer to the half.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Homestead Spartans trail the Saints 14-0 right now. 3:18 left in this second quarter. Saints going to be kicking it off for the 3rd time in this ball game. The Saints also will be getting possession at the start of the second half, so this is going to be a crucial drive for the Spartan offense.
And the Spartans need to go fast. They have not been able to get much in the air or on the ground, but they're going to need to get some in the air with only 3:18 left in this half. They've got to go quickly if they want to get some points on the board.
Morgan getting ready to send this one away after nailing the last PAT attempt. Kicks it deep down the field. Oxy are going to return this one for Homestead. He gets some open space and gets it to about the 25. A nice return there for Homestead. They're still going to have about 75 yards to go to the end zone.
Well, this is a better start from kickoffs for the Spartans here. the other drives starting from 21 and 20-yard line, and then when the defense forced a turnover on downs, they started around the 50-yard line. But here, just see if they can get anything going. This is a formation where a lot of times Brett Fox runs a little post route up the field.
Slavin drops back the throw, gets it complete over to Auxier, out about the 40-yard line. Tackled out of bounds there by Steele of the Saints.
And finally able to get something to go for the passing game. Just a little comeback route there by Auxier and his run to perfection. He got his player to bait. He got the defender to bait on it, which created that separation, and Slavin able to connect with his man.
Now first down and 10. Slavin going to drop back. Throws it to the left side. It's batted down and incomplete. The Saints lit up that screenplay, showing off the speed of their secondary and linebackers getting in that backfield quick.
And the Saints have showed that they love to blitz. They've been doing it so many times in this game, and it's created a lot of pressure and havoc for the Spartans' offensive line as well as Peyton Slavin. But if he could have connected with his man there, that could have been a huge play, as the Saints defenders only had 2 players back.
Now it's Johnson in the backfield on this second down. Slavin looking to throw. Complete over to Fox, a screen play on the left side. And then he's chased down by C.J. Davis for a gain of about 9 yards. A nice play there from the Spartans offense. We saw that play get blown up on first down, and the Spartans just did it right away again, and that time it worked.
Yeah, much better execution there by the Spartans. Just getting it out quicker. Didn't need to throw a lob pass, even though there were still 6 players coming in from the defense.
Now Slavin takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, running down the left side, and he is brought down after getting very close to the first down marker. A.J. Lay with the tackle on that play. And this one might just be inches short of the first down. Actually, they are going to move the chains. First down for the Spartans offense. Slavin takes a snap, throws it right side over to Fox, complete. A screen play once again, and once again, Fox gets a nice gain once he's brought down, and then he's brought down by C.J. Davis.
That is a great play right there. It looked like they had the play call before the chains were even moved, so not sure if they knew it was a first down, but regardless, it was a great play there by the Spartans. Another screen ran over to Fox, and you see he's so good with the ball in his hands and also getting out of bounds there, stopping the ball.
Now the Spartans moving into Saints territory as a flag is thrown free snap there. We'll see if this is the Spartans moving back 5 yards or moving forward 5. And it's going to be a false start on Homestead. They're going back 5 yards. First down and 15 now going to be coming up for Homestead as they trail 14-0 with 1:53 left in this first half.
And penalties have really been an issue so far in this one. We saw 2 big ones on the last touchdown drive for the Saints on the Spartans defense. One was a face mask. There was another that was a pass interference, so they keep on having these self-inflicted wounds.
Now Slavin dropping back to throw. Looks deep to Auxier on the right sideline. Goes over his head and incomplete. Just did not have the positioning there on that route. Slavin threw it a little bit to the outside as Auxier looked to try to come into the inside.
It looked like Auxier had to change his position there and play more of the defensive back role and just not allow anything to be picked off there. It would have been Steele who was the man back there guarding him, and another bad throw by Slavin. He's really been struggling in this one.
As Slavin's in gun on this second down and 15. Throws another screen over to the left side. That one flies over Fox's head and incomplete. Probably the right move there to just throw it incomplete as Fox was surrounded by some Saints defenders.
Well, it was risky there just to throw it even high to Fox. He could have thrown it at his feet and not risking anything, but number 17 over there, A.J. Lay for Dwenger, was right up in Fox's grill, and Fox just had to bat it down. But so far, just the Spartans going back to the same plays over and over.
Now Johnson in the backfield on third down. Slavin rolling out under some pressure. is forced to throw that one away. What a play in the backfield by Joe Bader. And it's going to be 4th down and 15 for the Homestead Spartans. Joe Bader with the chase down to force Slavin to throw it away. Bader's hurry there was huge.
And Slavin looked a little shaken up there after that 4th and 15 here, which would be huge to go for it. And it was the right leg that looked like he was shaken up. So I don't know how this punt is going to go if they do elect to punt it.
Now Slavin is going to punt this, sends it deep down the right sideline, and that bounces inside the 5, dives, and it's a perfect punt at the 1-yard line. Wow. A perfect bounce for this team. That was phenomenal from quarterback Peyton Slavin.
Well, Peyton Slavin just proved me wrong there. His leg seems to be fine, and that was a beauty there by Slavin, pinning the Saints back deep. We've already seen a safety forced here at home in this exact same end zone for the Spartans, so maybe they can get another safety here, get the ball back, have a little bit over a minute to go in the half, have some momentum going into the halftime.
And as the Saints take over possession, they are leading by 2 scores with 1:30 left in this first half, and they will also take possession at the start of the second half, so they have potential to put this game out of reach quickly. As Campbell's going to be under center and just push forward on this first down, trying to get some breathing room, and does it successfully.
Really good call there by the Saints to just go with the QB sneak, especially when you have a QB who's comfortable under center, who's comfortable with the ball in his hands. Great play call to get it out of your own 5-yard line.
Now the Saints moving quickly, just continuously running it up the gut. This time gaining about 4 yards. As Tipman was in on that carry. Trent Tipman. A 3rd down and short coming up for the Saints as there's now under a minute left in this first half. Saints just taking their sweet time, and now as they are trying to milk this, take a 14-0 lead into the break, and then get the ball to start off the half.
So little time, you expect just to be a run. Maybe they take a big shot down the field, but you expect to run, be happy going 14-0 into the half.
And they just milked as much clock as they could there, and then got a timeout called. 27 seconds remain in this second quarter. Right now the Saints have just controlled throughout, holding on to a 14-0 lead. The Spartans offense really has not been able to get anything going.
They've just had these slow, methodical drives the Saints have, running the ball down the throat of the defense for the Spartans. The Spartans have had no answer at all. Tensions are starting to get high on that Spartan sideline. Offense is not looking good at all. Slavin does not seem to be in rhythm with his receivers. They've gone to a lot of screen plays, get the ball out of Slavin's hands quickly. It's starting to get predictable. They're going to need to find something else for a second half.
I mean, they have really been conservative for most of this first half. We saw a couple deep shots. Last possession, we saw one deep to Oxier, but they've really just been looking for those screen passes and dump-offs like you were just saying. As Campbell's going to be under center, as the Saints are loaded up in the backfield. They hand this one off to Steele. He's going to power for the first down. Breaks a couple of tackles all the way out to the 20. And the clock keeps on ticking. 18 seconds left now in this first half as a timeout is called. Actually, not a timeout. It was just a stoppage for the first down. As 10 seconds remain in this second quarter. And the Saints are just letting the clock wind down. 5 seconds now left. And it looks like we're just going to take this one to the half. A 14-0 lead entering the break for this Saints team. And now we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery with Coach Zolman on the field.
We got to play better in all phases, offense, defense. haven't played very well at all first half.
Thank you, Coach. Noah, back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. And with that, we'll take a quick break, but we'll be back with the OPS halftime report. Saints lead 14-0 at the break.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marcos specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome to the OPS Halftime Report. I'm Anthony Gery alongside sports analyst Braxton Hall. And Braxton, if you're a Homestead fan right now, you are trembling a little bit. Down 14-0 heading into the half, but Saints fans, you guys are probably overjoyed.
Yeah, things aren't looking very good for Homestead right now. Down even bigger than they were last week. But like you said, Dwenger, I mean, their student section, it's small, but it's bringing the energy, and they're looking good so far tonight.
So far, Bishop Dwenger has had a phenomenal first half offensively and especially defensively, holding Homestead, of course, to a shutout.
Yeah, Peyton just can't really find anyone to throw to behind the line. He's getting a lot of pressure to him, and not really anyone's getting open.
And now we're going to take a look at our stats from the first half of this ball game. And as you can see, the passing has not been there for Peyton Slavin. 9 for 17 on his completion percentage, and especially on those last couple of drives, hasn't really been there.
Yeah, but Dwenger, on the other hand, they're passing really well. We've seen Campbell throw up a lot of 50-50 balls that his receivers are coming down with.
And, of course, Homestead, they need to do a lot better on that offensive side. However, the rushing is doing all right for the Spartans, although the scoreboard doesn't really reflect it that much. They're rushing between Brett Fox and Cam Johnson pretty well.
Yeah, 101 rush yards. They keep getting really close. They'll string together a couple plays here or there, but they just can't get enough to drive down the field and score.
Bishop Dwenger, on the other hand, their rushing has been especially good in this game. Although we don't have the rushing yards, just based off of the eye test, they have done a phenomenal job performing in the rush game.
Yeah, their offensive line has been getting a phenomenal push up against Homestead's defensive line, and they're going to try to keep that in the second half.
Of course, that last possession, that last closing out into the half possession there for Bishop Dwenger really highlighted that on their own 1-yard line and 3 plays in a row using the offensive line push to get over 10 yards and send this one into the half without a risk of a safety.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of chewing the clock when they have the ball, and like you said, a phenomenal job to chew at the end of the half and get keep them getting a safety.
And now we're going to take a look at some scores from around the SAC at the moment.
Actually, we're just going to talk about the game for a little bit longer. Here we go. Here we have the scores. Carroll leads Northrop, already implementing the mercy rule over at Northrop, 35-0. Snyder about to get that mercy rule up 28-0. Bishop Blue is also up 28-0 over Concordia, and Northside struggling a little bit with the Wayne Generals.
Yeah, we can really see when you look at the scoreboard, the top teams in the conference are really showing out tonight. And Homestead wants to be one of those top teams, and if they want that to happen, they're going to have to get back into this game and find a way to win it.
Especially Northside versus Wayne, though that game is a little bit of a surprise. This Bishop Dwenger team that is up 14-0 at the moment fell to Northside in a bloodbath in week 2. Northside standing on 2-1, still in the SAC race. One of those teams that still controls their. Actually, they don't control their destiny, but they're still up in that conversation.
Yeah, they're definitely in it, and a win tonight versus Wayne is necessary to keep them in it. Another loss, and they pretty much fall out of the title fight.
Homestead, on the other hand, they're down 14-0. Dwenger up 14-0. Those are the other two teams still in contention for the SAC. Homestead undefeated. If they win out, of course, they win. Bishop Dwenger, if they win out, they find their way in with the SAC bell.
Yeah, and Dwenger, if they win tonight, I mean, that's going to make things really hard for Homestead. It's going to be hard to get back in the chase for the SAC bell. For Dwenger, this is how they get back in it, by coming on the road and beating Homestead.
And while we're on the topic of the SAC bell, last year it was a shared title between Snyder, Bishop Luers, and Carroll. And both Homestead and Bishop Dwenger were two teams that were out of that conversation, out of that share. The two powerhouses of the SAC that weren't able to get in there. They fell a little bit short. Homestead at 6-3, Dwenger at 6-3. They both went back in this race, and you know that this game is important, just so important to both teams tonight.
Very badly. In this game tonight, the energy, it has like a rivalry feel. It has a big game feel to it, because both these teams know, both their fans know, winner of this game sets themselves up for a chance at the SAC bell. The loser, they're going to have a hard road to get back into it.
And now we're gonna end our OPS halftime report here. When we come back, we will have the Spartan Alliance band out on the field with their performance.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Ooh, I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Saints lead 14-0 at the break and will get possession first in the second half.
And the Saints have just dominated this game so far, just methodically driving the ball down the field. Their run game has been so strong. We've seen the Spartans do so well this year, stopping the run up the middle, but the Saints going with a few different runners. Zimmerman and Tittman have been the main ones in this game who've been so good, have been just dominating so far.
Yeah, it's been Trent Tittman, Toby Tittman, Teddy Steele, Owen Zimmerman. So many guys have been great at running the ball for the Saints offense. Even their quarterback, Sam Campbell, has been playing great in the run game and in the pass game.
And that's where he really excels in that run game. He's a dual threat quarterback. We've also seen him connect on a few bombs in this one, just over the top of the safeties and defenders. The cornerbacks have just got burned a few times for the Spartans, and Campbell's been able to take advantage of that.
And he definitely has. We've seen him connect with Stellan Rustin and Carter Minix for big gains in this one. A bit of a surprise in the first half as Sam Campbell and CJ Davis didn't really have much of a connection, but still, the Saints were able to get a 14-0 lead at the break.
And that just really shows you how strong the run game has been so far in this one. We saw CJ Davis get one slant. It was on a 3rd and 7. He took for about 15 yards and dragging Isaiah Elward with him for half of it. but that's the one connection we've seen. You mentioned it earlier. He only had one catch a week ago, just being so strong in that run game that Campbell really hasn't needed to find his main man too often.
And for the Spartans offense, they've had a lot of struggles in this first half. We saw early on they were moving the ball a little bit on the first possession, but then a fumble came on a pitch between Peyton Slavin and Cam Johnson. And really since then, this offense has not been able to get it going. They have not been able to get it moving, and they have really struggled, and they have not set up their defense in great positions, and now they're faced with a 14-0 lead at the break, deficit.
And that just really changed things for this offense. You're mentioning it. They haven't been able to get anything going. The rhythm has been so bad in this game ever since that first drive. They were looking really good, threatening to score. And a team that scores so often has been unable and shut out in this first half. It's really shocking to see how strong the Saints defense has been to this point, but it's also just been a lack of offensive production for the Spartans.
And it almost looks like in this first half, Peyton Slavin's been a little uncomfortable, and he's forced a couple of passes. Just Brett Fox on some screen plays, and just with some other passes like deep down the field to Oxier we saw late in the first half. It's been very interesting to see Peyton Slavin, or it's going to be very interesting to see how Peyton Slavin can adjust in the second half and try to lead the Spartans to a comeback victory.
Yeah, so far the offense has just been too predictable. They've started to run the ball well, but Carter Worth came out for a little bit. He was injured. He still has not looked 100% ever since he's come back in. So it's kind of shut down the run game to this point so far. And Slavin, just a lot of quick passes out to Brett Fox, primarily quick screen passes, getting the ball out of his hand. He had one nice comeback route to Oxier that was about 12 yards, but that's the farthest route he's connected on so far in this game, so he needs to find a little bit better rhythm with his wide receivers.
Yeah, they really have struggled to get a connection flowing, and it's been really the opposite for the Saints offense. As we were just talking about a little bit ago, this Saints offense played phenomenal in that first half. They were driving down the field pretty easily. The Spartans defense did come up with some big stops. The Saints also did have a missed field goal inside the red zone that could cost them, but really the Saints just played a great first half.
Yeah, quite honestly, this defense hasn't been terrible so far for the Spartans. They are averaging only giving up 7 points per game at home. They gave up 14 points their 1 week here at home. So this is their first time ever since that first week being at home. They've already let 14 points. Obviously, Dwenger is a much tougher task than Northrop, so struggling so far against a tougher team. They had 3 weeks to ease into the offense. They were looking really good, but this is really their first real test, and so far they've not showed up.
And for the first time tonight, Henry Nipshear out there to kick it off for the Spartans to set up this second half. Saints leading 14-0 at the break. Homestead going to be looking for a comeback here as the Saints will look to take control and ice this one. As the kickoff's up and away. Back deep inside the 5. Minix and Davis run into each other. Actually, Steele and Davis, as Steele is the one to return it and bring it out to the 23-yard line. A nice return there for the Saints to start off this second half.
A little miscommunication there, but lucky for the Saints just to have nothing bad come of it. Steele able to get it, and then Davis just backing off. But I think we're going to see another one of those slow, methodical drives by the Saints, just running it up the gut of this defense. You see Johnny Waddell in there. He's that main nose tackle for the Spartans. Typically good at stopping the run up the middle, but so far has not been able to get his way.
As Campbell's going to be under center to start off this half, it's going to be a handoff on the first play, and that time it's the Spartans defensive line making the stop and not allowing the Saints to get anywhere.
Jackson Crispin was the first player in there to get the stop, and then his fellow defensive linemen were able to get in there. But he's trying to hype himself up right now, get some energy on this Homestead sideline and out on the field. Right now, they just seem a little bit lost out there.
Now Campbell under center once again. Fakes a handoff. Gonna roll out to the left side. Hot, bringing in some pressure. Campbell showing some speed. Breaking out past the 40. The quarterback once again showing off his athleticism. Scrambling for more than 20 yards on that play.
I think it's going to come out to about 28 yards, so that's going to be the second run for Campbell of over 20 yards in this game, showing his dual threat ability on the season. He's already got over 66 yards. He's at 66 yards coming into this game, but I'm sure he's matched that in this one so far. He's been so good running the ball.
And we said it earlier, Campbell, first year at quarterback for the Saints. Years previous, he's been on both sides of the ball, defensive back and wide receiver, as he's going to keep this one once again. Gets forced out of bounds for about a couple-yard gain. And Campbell, as I was saying, a wide receiver and defensive back in years previous, an elite athlete for this Dwenger squad. And that dual-threat quarterback is just so hard to stop.
It really is. It just poses a great threat to the defense because you never know what Campbell is going to do. If you think he's going to keep the ball, they're not handing it off. You think he's going to take it, throw it, but no, he can run it himself and he can run it well. So you always have to have your head on a swivel, be expected for the unexpected.
Campbell once again under center. The Saints are in I formation. Campbell dropping back to throw, takes some pressure. Crispin in on that. Campbell pitches it out to Toby Tippmann. Now running, gets near back to the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss. Campbell with some improvisation, but didn't really get any extra yards there as they still lost 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, I think regardless, it's going to be about a 3-yard loss as Jackson Crispin was in there. Maybe a 5-yard, but avoiding a sack and just great to get it out there. A little bit risky, though, throwing it back because if Trent Tippmann was not able to come down with that, it was going to be a fumble because it was a backwards pass.
Yeah, we saw a pitch not work out for the Spartans on a turnover in the first half. That time it was okay for the Saints as Campbell drops back to throw. Deep right sideline, incomplete. Intended target, Rustin on that one. Campbell took some pressure early. Just a throwaway there as it's going to be 4th down and 10 now for the Saints. From the 50-yard line, we'll see if they're going to punt this one or maybe go for it. And here comes the special teams unit. As the Saints currently lead 14-0 with 9:41 left in this third quarter. Oxier back deep to return for the Spartans, as Morgan's going to send away this punt for the Saints.
The defense once again doing their job, getting a stop. Saints going to look to pin him back deep, but Oxier, he's explosive, he's fast, has a chance for a big return.
And a delay of game there called on the Saints offense. Just taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage that time. Going to push him back and give Morgan a little bit more space to try to pin the Spartans deep.
And that might have been on purpose right there, just to give Morgan a little bit more space to kick it, just bomb it away, not have to worry about trying to pin it in between this 10-yard line in the end zone.
And now Morgan gonna take the snap. It's a fake. He's gonna throw it over the right side, and it's batted down by Aiden Shepard, incomplete. The Saints special teams came out with a fake. Wow. But a flag down after the play.
I think it might be after the play, an unsportsmanlike conduct as Shepard was trying to go right over and taunt and yell at the player that he broke the pass up from.
Officials discussing what the flag is going to be on this play. As right now, if the play stands, the Spartans going to get the ball in the Saints territory at the 45-yard line. And it is going to be on the Spartans. It appears. Yep, an unsportsmanlike on the Homestead Spartans, like you were saying, Noah. It's going to push them back a little ways, but they're still going to have nice field position. Only 60 yards out from the end zone to start off this drive. First down and 10, Homestead. Quarterback Peyton Slavin looking to lead a comeback.
That right there just shows the immaturity there of a younger player. You got to be smarter than that. Still a shorter field, but you could have already been in Saints territory. So got to be smarter, especially when you're down 14. Can't have these big penalties hurting yourself. But back on the offensive side regardless now for the Spartans. Have been struggling a lot, but we'll see if they can get anything going down the field.
Johnson going to be in the backfield for the Spartans as he takes the handoff on first down, runs up the gut for a nice gain. A nice way to start off this second half for the Spartans offense as they try to get some momentum flowing. If the run game can get working, it could really be a momentum builder and confidence builder for this offense.
And that's how they started out this game, running the ball. Brett Fox and Cam Johnson picking up a few 5 to 7 yard gains. A 5-yard gain right there by Cam Johnson. So get the run game established, then open up the pass game.
Slavin fakes the handoff to Johnson, going to keep it himself, and then slides for the first down. Peyton Slavin moving the chains.
Slavin doing a great job as the runner there to find the hole, wide open hole there created by his linemen. Over on the left side, Williamson and Giese creating that hole for him. Slavin, he doesn't run it too many times, but he's always pretty efficient when he does. Last week we saw him rush 7 times, trying to get involved once again in that rush game.
Now into Saint territory, the Spartans are. Fox comes in motion pre-snap. Slavin fakes the handoff, right side over to Johnson, throws it behind him and incomplete. Second down and 10 coming up. Just some miscommunication there between Slavin and the running back, Cam Johnson.
Not sure if that was tipped there. The pressure was just getting to Slavin, but like you said, miscommunication. Once again, a ball behind Johnson. He would have had a lot of space to run, probably would have been able to pick up the first down. Spartans really need to clean up these miscommunications.
Johnson going to be in the backfield once again as Slavin takes a snap over right side to Auxier. A nice little curl route as Auxier is brought down after a couple-yard gain. The Spartans offense still looking to move the chains. 3rd and 7 coming up. Still trailing 14-0 with 8 minutes left in this third quarter. Down 2 possessions. It's a huge possession here for Homestead.
This is a huge play. If they pick it up, they're threatening to get closer to field goal range, potentially just one more first down away from field goal range. But their offense looking a little bit better than we've seen in past drives. They need to keep that momentum going and threaten against the Saints.
Slavin looking to throw. Over the middle, complete to Rivera on the right side, and he's forced out of bounds shy of the first down. Still going to be a 4th down here for Homestead. 4th down and about 3 yards coming up with 7:40 left in this third quarter. Homestead probably going to go for this one. Spartans quickly set on this play. Slavin in the gun. Fakes the snap that time as Johnson's going to be in the backfield with him. Auxier, one of Slavin's favorite targets, alone out to the right side. Slavin takes the snap, throws it left side, complete to Rivera once again. Down past the first down and inside the 30. Spartans driving in Saints territory.
Manny Rivera starting to get involved in the pass game, listed as the backup slot receiver, but he's over on the opposite side of Brett Fox right now, starting to play a bigger role in this offense, and they're starting to drive.
Slavin throws it right side, complete to Fox. He gets another first down. Into the red zone, the Spartans go. Down to the 15. Now the Spartans offense starting to click. 3 straight completions for quarterback Peyton Slavin.
Slavin looking a lot better coming in to this half. Just connecting with his receivers, Rivera and Fox, on a much better rhythm with the whole team. See if he can continue that on this drive.
Now he takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, and he's wrapped picked up and brought down right there. A nice tackle and a good stop by the Saints defense.
Finally able to slow down the offense of the Spartans on this drive. They've been doing really well, keeping up their pace, going at their own pace, just trying to dictate what the Saints are doing defensively. Picked up a big 4th down earlier in this drive. Slowed down here as it's a 2nd and 9 now, but regardless, looking much better.
Slavin taking the snap, end around this time for Fox. He's going down the left sideline, has a lane and gets down very close to the goal line, about the 1-yard line for this Spartans offense. They are getting close to the end zone here. 6:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Spartans looking to make it a 1-possession game.
Brett Fox is so good with the ball in his hands, and you know the Spartans are going to try to get the ball to him as much as they can, but now just 1 yard away. Need to go to the ground and just try to pound it up the middle.
Slavin in the gun. Hands it off to Johnson, who gets across the goal line. Touchdown, Homestead. They cut it down to a 1-possession Dwenger lead, 14-6. 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And now there's a little life on the Spartans sideline, looking much better. A big 60-yard drive there. The offense able to go at their own will. Defense getting a stop to start this half. Spartans looking much better.
It's going to be Nico Stavridis out there to kick the PAT. As Cam Johnson's forced to sprint off the field. Stayed out there a little too long after that touchdown. Extra point is up, and it is good. 14-7, Bishop Dwenger lead with 6 minutes left in this 3rd quarter.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead versus Dwenger on the campus of Homestead High School. As the Saints currently lead 14-7 with 6 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. We just watched Cam Johnson power his way into the end zone for the Spartans.
Spartans starting to click, both running the ball and passing ball. Peyton Slavin looking like he's starting to settle in this game. It took him 2 quarters to do so. With this 3rd quarter, he started out very well already. So just going to look to continue that for the Spartans. And then defensively, they got a big stop on their first drive for the Saints. Saints had a chance to bring it out to a 3-possession game, but now it's cut down to just a 7-point game.
And here comes Nipshear to send it away for Homestead. Sends this one high and deep back there. CJ Davis going to return it. He's got some open space down to the 25-yard line. He has 2 return touchdowns on the season. He's down to the 50, the 40. A flag is thrown, though, back at the 20, and CJ Davis takes it to the house. But a flag was thrown. We're going to see what this one was. It was not even affecting the play, but it could be a crucial mistake for the Saints. But for now, it's a touchdown for CJ Davis.
CJ Davis is so electric, but as you're mentioning, that flag wasn't even nowhere near the play. It was on the close side of your screen, whereas Davis was on the far side, but the flags, there is actually another one also around the 42, 43-yard line on the far side, but the ones on the near side were during the play, and it just looked like a little bit of taunting over by A.J. Lay.
Yeah, it was Lay, and it was Justin Goskowitz in on that one, just back and forth. And flags were thrown all over the 30-yard line when that scuffle was going on. And then around the 40 on the other side, the far side, we'll have to see what that penalty is as the officials discuss on this one. But how about C.J. Davis? Even though this one might be called back, a guy with 2 return touchdowns already on the season, just showing his explosive athleticism.
He is just so electric to watch, and that is why it's just so hard to contain him. You do not want him to get the ball on a kickoff. You mentioned it. He's had 2 already, potentially a third. We don't know what's going to happen on this one. Likely going to come back, but he hasn't been playing a huge role offensively, but in the special teams, you better watch out.
We're still awaiting the official ruling on this one, as there are flags all over draped on this field. And it's going to be a personal foul on Bishop Dwenger. Personal foul on Homestead as well. And those penalties are going to offset each other. And we're going to see what this final flag is. A sideline warning for the Bishop Dwenger Saints. So with the offset penalties, it appears we're going to be redoing the kickoff.
Well, C.J. Davis might be a little tired after that last one, so we'll see if he gets it. Coming back, we've also seen Minix be a really strong returner for the Saints so far. I don't think this one's going to go to Davis, however.
And right now, Davis has to have a little disappointment going on in his head. He just returned that one to the house, and there was just a scuffle outside of the play that calls that one back.
Yeah, just really unfortunate, and that's one of those dumb penalties that you cannot have, just letting your emotions get the better of you, and it's going to cost your team a touchdown. And we could come back to this in the fourth quarter and be like, that really changed the dynamic of this whole game. Saints would have been likely going up 14, but instead it's a 7-point game, and we're going to redo this kick all over again.
And here we go. 5:45 left. Kickoff is up and away. This one goes towards Davis. Davis bottles this one. He's inside the 5. Going to try to bring this one back out. Now out to the 20. He gets the sideline once again. A nice return as he's pushed out, and then flags thrown all around. That might have been a late hit on the Spartans as it came right after the play.
Once again, if that is a late hit, just the emotions getting the better of these players out there. You know, these two teams have been going back and forth, been a very physical game so far, but they've got to keep their emotions intact and cannot allow that to cost them the game. And C.J. Davis, once again, just showing you how he's so good in the return game. You'd think he'd be a little exhausted from going all the way 100 yards just a minute before he returned that one, but still able to get a really solid return.
Yeah, it was a great return for this Bishop Dwenger Saints, as it is going to be a late hit on the Spartans, which is going to give the Saints great field position once again at the 42-yard line. Although they got the kickoff return touchdown called back, they still get a favorable return here.
They've only got 58 yards to go on this drive. We just saw Homestead drive 60 yards for their touchdown. But Spartans defense once again is going to need to come up huge.
Campbell now going to be under center on this first down to start off the drive. He's going to hand this one off to the left side up the gut. Spartans saying the ball came loose and they have it. We'll see what the official ruling is here. And they do! Spartans take over possession. Wow! What a momentum shifter right there.
What a turn of events we have right here just in this past minute. Feels like this whole game has flipped on its head. We just saw earlier the touchdown get called back, and now a great field position for the Saints, but they turn it over. Spartans coming back out on offense, threatening to score again on a short field.
Now quarterback Peyton Slavin and the Spartans offense are in Saints territory. Down just by 7 now, with 5:30 left in this third quarter. Johnson in the backfield for Homestead. Slavin Dropping back to throw. Looks over the middle, incomplete pass. Fox, the intended target on that one.
So far with Slavin throwing over 10 yards in the air, he's really been struggling. That one way behind Fox. And if he threw it on target, Sue Fox is probably going to be picked off there by CJ Davis because he was right there trying to undercut the route. So it was a good, bad throw to have, but no success at all for Slavin going down the field.
Now Slavin going to be in gun once again on this second down. He's going to hand it off to Johnson up the gut as Johnson pushes for a couple of yards there. Going to make it a third and a little bit more manageable. Right now the Spartans offense needs to take advantage of the perfect position they're put in Saints territory to start off this drive. They're in a little bit of a danger zone on third down here.
Well, they could go for it on fourth down, so maybe go quick screen, get some yards here. Brett Fox there on the bottom slot. We saw a very similar position about third and medium, manageable, try to get some yards, then go for it on fourth.
Slavin in the gun, takes a snap, fakes the screen left side over to Fox, and then is drilled in the backfield. A sack. This time by Christian Lozada in the backfield. Nice job by this Saints defense.
A great stand by the defense. Short field there for the Spartans, and they get nothing of it, just likely going to pin the Saints back, take off a few minutes, which is only going to hurt the Spartans. So just a great overall effort by that defense for the Saints.
Now McLaughlin, the punter, out there for the Homestead offense. The Spartans started this drive in Saints territory and have not been able to capitalize whatsoever. McLaughlin going to send this one away. Sends it deep inside the 5. Minnick's going to return this one. Jukes out a couple defenders and then is finally brought down at about the 8-yard line. Right now, the Saints holding on to this one-possession lead.
This defense right now for the Spartans has a lot of energy on their side. I'd say they have the momentum right now in the ball game if any side of the ball had it.
And now we're going to send it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And it is loud down here, but this game is starting to get a little bit chippy. Two teams have each received a sideline warning, and there have been a multitude of unnecessary roughness calls. We know Homestead and Dwenger are always two of the best teams in the SAC, and tonight we're seeing a thriller, but it's getting heated down on the turf.
And thank you, Anthony, and it definitely is getting heated as these are two teams competing for an SAC title. As Campbell takes the snap, hands it left side over to about for a 1-yard gain. Nice job by the Spartans defensive line, not letting them get pushed around there.
And unlike the first half, the Spartans have been really strong in the middle with those middle runs for Dwenger. They were so good with it in the first half, but in the second half, the defense has just been stopping everything.
Campbell going to be under center once again, handing it off to Toby Tippmann straight up the gut, and he's pushed back. Got just across the line of scrimmage and then stuffed. A nice job here by the Spartans defense, not allowing this run game to get going right now. As it's going to be 3rd and long now here as the Saints are backed up in their own territory. Campbell gonna be in the gun this time. As Toby Tippmann is in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, drops back the throw. Left side, complete for the first down. A complete pass for this Dwenger offense. Gets them moving.
And so far in this one, Isaiah Elward has not had a great game to this point. It's been a lot of quick passes over the middle that's been getting him. We saw earlier CJ Davis get one, and then that time it's Ross getting the catch and just a huge pickup on 3rd down by the Saints.
Now Campbell under center. Hands it off up the middle for a nice little gain there. This Saints offense just continues to ground and pound. They're trying to wear down the Homestead Spartans. They did it pretty well in the first half, but right now, the Spartans' defensive line, their energy reboosted and kind of slowing down this run game.
Yeah, that run game has been struggling a lot going up the middle, and this is where the Saints need to look to bounce it outside. Maybe have Campbell be that player to bounce it outside, or bring in Zimmerman once again. He was really shifty, good getting it outside. So maybe try for them to get it outside.
Campbell going to drop back to throw, and then he's going to take it himself instead. A spin move, a dive, and gets near the first down marker to set up a 3rd down and short.
That's exactly what the Saints needed, just to make it a 3rd and manageable. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1. Now they have their full playbook at their option. I think just a run up the middle is what they need to do, even though they've not been doing well with those runs up the middle. All you need is 1 yard, get the chains moving.
And here come the Saints on 3rd down. They are in a power formation here. Campbell under center. Campbell fakes a couple of handoffs and then and Toby Tippmann breaks that one out, but actually they're going to blow that one dead. They're going to say the forward progress was stopped before Campbell could get that one out to Trent Tippmann. And it's going to be 4th down, a nice stop by the Spartans defense.
That was a huge stop right there. And I think the Saints might have stopped themselves. Campbell didn't really know where to go with it. Couldn't tell if he was supposed to take it or just hand it off. So a lot of confusion helps the Spartans get there quickly. And then just great stop overall, getting the ball back, see if they can resume their offensive drive.
Now it's going to be Morgan to send this punt away. As the quarter ends and Homestead trails 14-7 against the Bishop Dwenger Saints.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Saints lead over the Spartans 14-7 entering this 4th quarter.
And the Spartans started off this half very well, scoring on their first drive, getting a defensive stop, and then right after that, getting a fumble recovery, having a short field just over 40 yards they needed to drive, but getting stopped right away by the Saints defense. It's a big stop. Now these defenses have traded big stops back and forth, but the Spartans getting the ball back, Peyton Slavin back with the ball in his hands, gonna look to get it out to his receivers, Fox and Auxier, and then Johnson do his job on the ground.
We saw last time Morgan came out to punt, he got a fake, threw one incomplete. Wouldn't think the Saints would try it again, but you never know. As Morgan takes the snap, he will send it away as a punt. Down, bouncing across the 40. A friendly roll for the Saints all the way down to the 26-yard line. And the Homestead offense going to come marching out onto the field.
And I think it hit a Dwenger player, so the Spartans are going to get the ball at about the 35, 36-yard line, so definitely going to help them there. A little shocking not to see the returner, Auxier, to come up and get it. And as you see, some scores from around the area. Shocking that that Northside versus Wayne game is still so close. Leo taking advantage of New Haven right now with a solid lead.
And now it's going to be 1st down as Slavin's in the gun. Hands it off to Fox, going up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, and then is brought down. A nice run there to start off this drive for Homestead. And they're really going to have to get the run game, continue to work, and get the pass game working Right now, this offense is so one-dimensional. You really don't even expect them to take a deep shot because it just has not been working all night. The Spartans are going to need that to work right now.
Yeah, they need to get their run game going, establish the run, and then set up that pass game through the run game. They haven't been able to get anything past 15 yards in the air, just one little comeback route to Oxy-Air in the first half.
Fox once again on the carry. He's going to break this one out to the right side now past the first down, and he's brought down at the 50-yard line by Teddy Steele.
That's exactly what the Spartans need to do. Get the ball to Brett Fox, let him get outside, and then do his thing. You know, he's so hard to tackle. He's so fast, so speedy, so shifty. It's hard to bring him down. If you get the ball in his hands, it's going to help you out a lot, and then it's going to set up for Peyton Slavin to take the ball himself, either throw it or maybe go with an option play soon and him tuck it himself.
Slavin going to be in the gun once again. This time it's Fox with him in the backfield. Hands it off to Fox. He goes straight up the middle, spins out of a tackle, and gets down to the 37-yard line. Fox, an elusive back who continuously breaks tackles all the time.
And he might just carry this team on his back right now. On this drive, he's doing it all so far for the Spartans with two big runs for first downs back to back. Got to expect him to get the ball.
Now it's going to be first down once again for the Spartans offense. Fox in the backfield again. As Slavin takes the snap, hands it off to Fox. Ball bounces on the ground, but Fox picks it up again, runs hard into a defender, and is forced out of bounds at about the after about a 5-yard gain.
And that would have been a huge loss there for the Spartans if Fox didn't get the ball to bounce right back into his hands. Really lucky he was able to keep his momentum and then get a solid gain for 5. And then he delivered a big hit on Duke on that play there. Just able to keep on going forward.
And now on this second down, Slavin in shotgun again for this Spartans offense. Fox with him in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off to Fox, going down the right side, tripped up and gets about 4 yards. Going to set up a third down and very short for Homestead as they are getting very close to field goal range.
It looks like Fox might have been slowed down by one of his own players there, slowing him down. And it seems like the only person that can slow down Fox is his own team because he's just going to run all over the opposing defense.
Now Slavin going to be in the gun. Johnson in the backfield with him. Third down. Spartans trail by 7. Slavin takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, and he's brought down. A tackle for loss by the Bishop Dwenger defense. Sam Trable-Weir was one of them to get in that backfield and light it up. And the season long for kicker Nico Stravetis is at 36. From here, it's way out of his reach.
There's just a huge play by the Saints defense. Group tackling right there to get in and then stop Cam Johnson from picking up any yards, actually driving him back a few. But this is a crucial play for the game. Must needed fourth down conversion.
Now Slavin in the gun. Going forward on fourth down. Drops back to pass. Right side over to Fox. He's got an open window. Down to the 20. The right sideline. Inside the red zone. Down to the 11. The Spartans keep the drive alive with 8 minutes left in the ball game. Trailing by 7.
And what a huge play there and a great play call for the Spartans. They had Peyton Slavin and all the linemen rolling out to the left, and then they just dumped it back over for Brett Fox on the right side, who had blockers set up for him in open space. Great play call and great execution.
Great misdirection by the Spartans as Slavin's going to be in the gun on first down. Takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, who's lit up in that backfield. That was Nick Pelkinton who lit up the backfield for a tackle for loss.
It seems like on just about every single play, the Saints have 6 defenders coming in, blitzing, rushing, whatever you want to call it. They're involved almost every single time. And so far, the Spartans have not been able to really slow them down. That's why this ball's been coming out fast, or they're trying to get it to the defenders real quickly.
And now on second down, Slavin in the gun, Johnson the back. Takes a snap, looking to the right side, it's batted and falls incomplete. Almost intercepted by Ashton Gery on the defensive line for the Saints, but he could not get it.
That would have been a huge play and almost reminiscent of Jackson Crispin's play from a week ago where he batted the ball down to himself and picked it off and just really turned that game around. Would have been very similar to that, but Gery unable to bring it down as he's being blocked over there on the right side by Finn Parsley.
As Slavin is going to take the snap on this third down and long. Looks deep to the right side of the end zone, and it is a incomplete pass. Oxier almost had that one. A touchdown just slipped through his hands, and it's going to be a 4th and 15 for the Spartans offense as they send out the field goal unit.
And that is a huge, huge, huge play. Missed opportunity there for the Spartans. They would have likely been able to change the game, turn it around, tie it up. And now they bring out their kicking unit, Stavridis, out there. And he's not been too solid on the season, so even this is unsure if the Spartans will get any points here.
And Stavridis with a 36-yard long on the season, as this is going to be a 34-yard attempt. This one goes up, and it is good. Stavridis cuts the lead down to just 4 as it's a 14-10 lead for the Bishop Dwenger Saints. Welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Saints lead 14-10 over the Spartans with 7:20 left in this ball game. Homestead really playing great in this second half after trailing 14-0 after the break, and it's really been the defense making the big plays.
And there is plenty of time for the Spartans to still take the lead in this one. They're down 14-0 now on a 10-0 run themselves, scored the last 10 unanswered. Saints have really struggled, and that's been due to the Spartans defense being so strong in this half. They've really turned the game upside down. But for the offensive side for the Saints, you got to expect them to run, keep the clock running.
And it really could be the battle between the Saints offensive line and the Homestead Spartans defensive line that decides this ball game, as the Saints will look to milk as much clock as possible to close this one out. As Nipshear sends this kick away. It's a little short, quick kick, bounces down on the ground at about the 25, and then is picked back up and brought down to the 31-yard line by Christian Lozada. The Saints offense going to come out on the field, led by dual threat quarterback Sam Campbell, as Lozada is still down on the ground after this play, feeling a bit with an injury, as we're going to be taking a break, but we'll be right back with more Homestead versus Dwenger football.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead versus Dwenger, as Christian Lozada was able to walk off and onto the sideline. And now Campbell to take the snap to start off this drive. He's going to keep it himself and run. He gains a couple yards there, and right there is exactly what we were talking about. This Saints offense is going to be looking to run the ball and run the ball this possession.
Yeah, that's really all they need to do. They've been pretty effective so far running the ball up the middle. They've been struggling this half, but they're going a little bit more outside over to the left side, running behind Gery and Henry. Campbell was there. So look for him to take a lot more carries, maybe a lot more of those direct snaps and just have him run the ball, but take as much of the clock as you can.
Now with 6:30 left in this ball game, Campbell once again in the gun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, once again going to keep it himself. This time bouncing out to the left sideline and slides for the first down. Nice job there by the Saints quarterback, Sam Campbell, getting the first down.
And the most important part of that run there was staying in bounds. As you see here, he's running over to the left side, trying to get out there, but instead goes backwards, make sure he gets down in bounds, keep the clock running, milk as much time as possible.
And now 6:20 left in this fourth quarter. Right now it's a first down and 10 for this Saints offense. They're still milking this clock with a 4-point lead. Campbell takes the snap. Once again, he's going to keep it himself. Running as Shepard brings him to a stopping point, and the Spartans defense just continuously pushing him back. The ball did come loose there, but after the whistles were blew the play dead.
Great stop there by Shepard just to wrap up Campbell, as they'd been unable to on the past two plays. Campbell going down by himself. There's Shepard making sure Campbell had nowhere to go, stopping him from getting any more and just allowing a 1-yard run only.
How about this score from the area? It's a third quarter in the Northside Wayne game, and Northside still only up 14-8. The run game of the Generals probably controlling that one, as Nelson, just a great back, able to milk the clock, and that's what the Saints are trying to do here with 5 minutes left, as they run it straight up the middle once again. Spartans defense not letting that one go anywhere, as it's going to be 3rd down and 10. The Saints might look to switch it up and pass here, as we now have 5 minutes exactly left. The clock's still ticking. Saints are leading 14-10.
This is one of the biggest plays of the game, probably the biggest to this point. Spartans need a stop no matter what. I still think if you're Saints, you got to go with something on the ground. You've been running effectively. Keep the clock running.
Campbell fakes the handoff. Now under a bit of pressure, throws it right side, batted down, incomplete. 4:33 left in the ball game. Saints faced with a 4th down and 9. And we'll see if they're going to punt, and they will. They bring out the special teams on this 4th down.
A huge stop there by Wyatt Little to get in and break up the pass. Just a great stop by the defense, a great defensive drive. Now getting the ball back. You have over 4.5 minutes. That's why I still think the Saints should have ran the ball there, get it under 4 minutes, and then pin the Spartans back deep.
Now Morgan takes the snap and sends this one away for the Saints. Bounces out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. We'll see where the official ruling is here. And it's going to be the 19-yard line to start off this drive for the Spartans. Trailing 14-10, 4:26 left in the game.
Even though the Spartans have struggled passing the ball, I think this is where you got to find your rhythm. They had a really good first drive to start this half where Slavin and his receivers really looked in rhythm. You still have time to go to Brett Fox or Cam Johnson on the ground, but you just got to be fast. Get to the line quickly.
Slavin in the gun on this first down. A big possession. Hands it off to Fox. Fox bounces it up down the middle. Down to the 30 and a first down to start off the drive for the Spartans. A nice run there on the ground from Brett Fox.
And that's why you still have time to run the ball, because you have Brett Fox
finding every single hole that is possible to find and just picking up another first down. If he's going to get you big chunk yardage like that, you've got plenty of time to run the ball. Try to even take off as much time as you can because you expect this to be the last drive regardless.
Now 4 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Slavin in shotgun, first down. Hands it off to Fox, straight up the gut. He breaks a couple tackles, the ball comes loose. Saints and Spartans dive on it. We'll see who ended up with it. And it is going, and we're going to see what the official ruling here is, as it's going to stay with the Spartans. A big play there as the Spartans were able to recover and set up a second down here with 3:38 left in this ball game. The clock is still ticking.
That could have just about ended the game there. And as you're mentioning, clock is still ticking down second by second. You expect the Spartans to go a little bit faster.
Slavin now in the gun on second down. Fox with him in the backfield. Throws it left side, and it's complete. Rivera in on that reception. Third down now going to come up for this Spartans offense. 3:07 left in the ball game. Clock still ticking. Spartans still taking their time even as the clock is winding down. 2:54 left in the game. Slavin in shotgun. On this third down, Fox in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off to Fox. Running straight up the middle, powers for the first down carry. And with that first down, the clock will stop until the ball gets set with 2:41 left in this third quarter, or in this fourth quarter.
A great run there by Fox over to the right side, able to slip that first initial contact, and that's what led him to get a 5-yard pickup and a first down. Got to expect him to get the ball going late in the game.
Now Slavin in the gun on this first down. Fox in the backfield once again. Hands it off to Fox again up the gut. This time only gains about a yard. Going to set up a second down and 9 as 2:10 remains in this ball game. The Spartans still being conservative. Clock still ticking.
And at some point, you got to take a shot down the field, at least past the yardage markers. Manny Rivera coming back into the game. They've been passing with him in the game.
And now on this second down and 9 with 1:50 left in the ball game, Slavin in the gun. Drops back. This time he's going to look to throw. Complete to the right side to Auxier. Auxier tries to get out of bounds, and he does. The clock's going to stop. That's a huge part of that play, as it's going to be a third down and about 7 for the Spartans here with 1:41 left in the game.
And this is where it becomes so crucial for the Spartans to have that pass game. But this game, they've just really not had anything going down the field. We've seen so many screen passes, which has just been more of an extension to the run game, just a way to get it out of Slavin's hands quickly. We've seen him throw little quick 5-yard slants or in routes, out routes, but nothing down the field. This is when Slavin needs to step up, make a play, have one of his receivers make a play.
And here we go. Third down and 7. Slavin in the gun. 2 receivers out to the left side. Auxier on the near sideline, as there is some discussion going on between the officials pre-snap. Still a whole lot of confusion. No official ruling, as this is a crucial moment in this ball game. 1:36 left in this game. Homestead trailing by 4.
And I think it was the clock running there. 5 seconds came off, so they put that time back on as the clock was supposed to stop.
And here it is, 3rd and 7. Slavin in the gun. 2 wide receivers out to the far side. Auxier, the receiver, near side. Johnson in the backfield. Snap. Slavin dropping back to throw. Complete over to the left side to Fox. Fox breaks a tackle. Down to the first down. Gets to the 45-yard line. A huge broken tackle by Brett Fox, keeping the Spartans hope alive with 1:32 left in the game.
What a play by Brett Fox. It looks like there's no way he's going to get out of that tackle, and he does it, and he gets out of bounds there. Great play by Fox.
Now the Spartans starting to move a little bit quicker as it's 1st down and 10 here. Slavin takes a snap. Right side over to Fox, a screen. Breaks the first tackle. Breaks the second. Still moving. Gets to the 41-yard line and then is brought down by Saints defenders. No timeout from the Spartans as there's 1:15 left in this game. The ball being bottled around by the officials. 1 minute left in this 4th quarter right now.
Strange to see no timeout as there's already been 25 seconds coming off of the play clock.
Spartans still have all 3 of their timeouts in this half as Slavin is in the gun. Takes the snap. Under a bit of pressure. Scrambling. Chucks it right side. And it's complete! A 1st down to Mason Auxier. A huge connection. 44 seconds remain in the ball game.
And when the Spartans need it the most, Peyton Slavin and Mason Auxier connect for a big play. The 2 seniors coming together, forming one of those new relationships this season, and it's right when they need it.
44.5 seconds remain in this 4th quarter. Slavin in the gun. Takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson, who's brought down in the backfield. A huge play by the Saints defense as a timeout is called right away by the Homestead Spartans. They'll have 2 timeouts left after that one. 38.7 seconds remain in this 4th quarter as it's going to be 2nd down and 13.
And even though you've got all 3 timeouts, I don't love the run call there, especially with Cam Johnson in the backfield instead of Brett Fox. We've seen Brett Fox be so good this drive. Cam Johnson, especially this half, has not been able to get anything going on the ground. So would have liked to see Brett Fox if you're going to run it there. But now you've got 2 timeouts left, a little bit under 40 seconds. You've got to be very wise in your play calling. Go to the sideline. If you're going up the middle, make sure you're aware of the time and where you are.
38.7 seconds. That's how much time the Spartans have left to try to get into the end zone and complete the comeback victory over this Saints squad. Right now they are at the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 13 with Slavin going to be in the gun. Rivera and Fox out to the left side. Auxier out on the right side. Johnson in the backfield. Slavin in the gun. Takes a snap. Drops back to throw. Looks deep over the middle to Auxier. Sails over his head. Incomplete. 3rd and 13 coming up. 34.3 seconds remain in this 4th quarter.
And they needed to take the shot to the end zone at some point. Slavin just overthrowing Auxier, but it might have been more wise to do so because if he'd been throwing it to Auxier's body, the safety coming over the top there, Lozada was likely going to be there, so smarter to get there. But I think you need to pick up a solid amount of yards, about 8 yards, and then you can call a timeout.
34 seconds left. Slavin takes a snap, drops back to throw. An open receiver downfield, and it's picked off! It was thrown a little short, and the interception made by the Saints defense. Wow! They get in there and make the stop. 30 seconds left in the ball game. The Saints come up big. It was Max Gery with the interception. 30 seconds left.
What a huge play by Max Gery, ending this game, allowing the Saints to go home with a victory, taking over as the number 2 team in the SAC. Now just going to kneel it down, but that was one of the better interception I've seen in a while. Slavin, you see over there on the sideline, underthrew his man just a little too much, allowing Gery to get there.
And now the Saints lining up in victory formation. They're going to kneel this one, and then a timeout called right away by Coach Zolman of the Spartans. 28.6 seconds left in this ball game.
And I think if the Saints were a little farther out than just their own 3-yard line, then maybe Coach Zolman wouldn't call a timeout, just let it go. But just because of how close the Saints are backed up, calling timeout there, maybe hope for something crazy to happen.
Yeah, with one timeout right now, the Spartans can still make the Saints run 2 more plays. And right now, the Saints are backed up enough where 2 quarterback kneels wouldn't work successfully. So right now, the Spartans' defensive line still has a chance to try and push the Saints backwards. But right now, the Saints are looking to hold on to this 14-10 lead. They had the 14-0 lead at the break. The Spartans were trying to get this comeback going, but the Saints closed it out with a Max Gery interception.
And I think it's got to be Sam Campbell just taking a QB sneak at some point, maybe after, if they're going to kneel it here, do it after this kneel, have him end the game because he's been so strong running the ball.
And right now, they're in a QB kneel formation. That line was pushed back a little bit, but still not enough, as it is going to be another timeout called by the Spartans. 26.6 seconds left in the ball game. It's going to be a 3rd down and about 12 yards right now for the Saints. They're still a couple yards away from the end zone, but still the Spartans team trying to keep hopes alive. But right now, it's the Saints looking to take this win and continue to control their own destiny in the path for an SAC title.
And this just, for the SAC, is a huge game with just 2 yards to spare here. They still could take a knee if they've got the space, or maybe just get up to the line and go down. But for the SAC, this is going to have huge implications, as both teams will likely go to 3-1, assuming Dwenger holds on to this one. They'll have the tiebreaker over Homestead, and Homestead, faced with their first real test, could not come up when it mattered the most.
And they really were challenged throughout this one. They started the comeback, but just could not get it to go. And on that 3rd down, the Saints are going to kneel it. And that will bring us to the end of this ball game, as the clock will just keep on running. The Bishop Dwenger Saints take this one, steal it from the Homestead Spartans at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium. What a performance from Sam Campbell and the Saints squad.
Sam Campbell just willed this team, methodically driving them, taking care of all that he needed to, and it was just a great job and great performance by Campbell, making the big throws down the field when he needed to, something Slavin could not do, and that's where they were able to take advantage and win.
And really, so much of the credit also deserves to be given to the Bishop Dwenger Saints defense, as they had 14 points at that break and then did not score in the second half, but still were able to hold on and get this win.
They look shaky at times, but when they needed it the most, they were able to get the stop that they needed, allowing 10 points for the Spartans. Both teams were shut out in one half. The Spartans not scoring in the first, Dwenger not scoring in the second. But regardless, these defenses came to play when it was the 2 teams that have scored the most all season long in the SAC. The defenses was the side of the ball that came up huge.
And really, the moment that completely decided the fate of this ball game is when Max Gery jumped up and got that interception with 30 seconds left to seal this win for the Saints.
That's what did it right there. Slavin underthrowing his receiver just a little bit too much, but I think you got to give it to Gery on the huge play that he made. Slavin wasn't a terrible throw there, but Gery making the one-handed grab, bringing it in, and ending the game.
And right now, the Homestead Spartans fall to 3-1 as the Saints go up to 3-1 And both these teams still are going to be looking for a title contention run. But right now it's the Saints who control their own destiny as their only one loss. The Northside Legends has 2 losses on the season.
Yeah, it's just going to come down for the Spartans to how they play in the next few weeks. They've got the toughest stretch of their season coming up, so they've got to start playing better. But as you're mentioning, they don't control their own destiny as Dwenger will hold the tiebreaker over them. But on top of both of these teams is Carroll, likely just cruised an easy win this week. We saw they were up 28-0 earlier.
Yeah, really, Carroll is the dominant team in the SAC this season. We've seen them dominate a couple of good teams. They beat Northside, they beat Snyder, and that is a scary team to try and go up against. But right now, it's really about this Bishop Dwenger win, being able to steal one at Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium.
And now in the last 8 games, they've tied it up 4-4. So these two teams have been pretty evenly fought battles. We saw it again tonight, just tale of 2 halves in this one. And Dwenger was able to be stronger and prevail in the end.
And now we're going to be taking a quick break, but we'll be back with the rest of the OPS post-game report.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Homestead Spartans just lost to the Bishop Dwenger Saints 14-10. What a performance it was from the Saints. And we're going to be taking a quick look at some scores around the SAC. Starting off with the Carroll-Northrop game. Carroll once again dominant, winning 38-0. And then along with 2 other dominant wins from SAC teams, Snyder winning 42-0 over Southside, Lures winning 41-14 over Concordia, and then one game that is just still in the 3rd quarter, Northside leading 28-16 over Wayne.
And it's about what you expect around the SAC this week. The teams at the top half dominating Carroll and Snyder, 2 of the top 4 teams getting easy wins. Lures, you expect them to beat Concordia, and they did so. And then Northside and Wayne, shocking that's still in the 3rd quarter there, but Northside finally taking care of business after being tied early on.
And it has been a close one in that game throughout, and really there is no shocks in the SAC this week. And the big game was really this one with Bishop Dwenger versus Homestead. And we're going to be taking a quick look at the stats of this one as the Saints were able to win 14-10. And just overall, the first downs, the Spartans were able to get more. But really the rush yards is where it came in for this Saints squad.
And they didn't have to do much passing. They only had 4 completions, but they were often big completions down the field that really opened up the game for them. We saw a few big connections from Campbell to his tight end early on in the game that opened it up, Rustin. And then CJ Davis, he didn't get a big one. He didn't have to do too much on the offensive side, but he was able to also help his team free up space for other players. And then that run game, once again, is just really where they dominated
running the ball all over the Spartans' defense.
And another issue for the Spartans was the turnovers. They didn't have too many of them, just 2, but they turned it over on the first possession of the game and on the last, and both of those really hurt the Spartans in this one.
That is what hurt them. That's exactly why they lost this game. They had a chance to score in the end, and they couldn't. Early on this game, they were driving. That stopped all their momentum. Their first turnover and the second turnover stopped the whole game.
And now let's take a look at what's up next for the Homestead Spartans, as they're going to be facing off against the Snyder Panthers. They're going to travel to Spooler Stadium against the Panthers.
And it's going to be another tough task now for Homestead, as both teams are 3-1 at this point. Snyder has a much better resume to this point, played harder teams and done much better against those teams. So it's going to be another tough test on the road for the Spartans.
And looking even further into the upcoming schedule for the Homestead Spartans, we just mentioned at Northside, but then following that there's going to be, or at Snyder, and then following that is versus Northside at home, and then the Carroll game, and then on the road at Wayne. 3 straight games that are going to be tough for the Spartans coming up.
By far the toughest stretch of the season is these next 3 games. You could even include this one here tonight for the Spartans. So the hardest stretch coming in the middle of the season for the Spartans, and this is going to be where they're really tested. We'll see how good the Spartans truly are. They had the teams in the bottom half of the SAC to start the season. They took care of business there, but so far haven't been able to take care of business against the top half teams.
And with that, we're going to close it out here from Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium tonight. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier. Thanks to my color commentator, Noah Lancz, and the sideline reporter, Anthony Gery. Join us next week when Homestead travels to Snyder. That game will be broadcasted on WCYT or 91.